yourself, bitch. Step your pussy up, honey. Get a job. Own a business, bitch. Suck a dick.
This is for faggots.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to another episode of On the Line, where I basically just pretty explanatory jump on the line, where I want to just talk about what's popping in entertainment news. There was some stuff that I forgot to bring up in that last video, so I had to jump on real quick. And plus, I just came across some shit about Miss Wendy Williams, and we need to talk about that and what's going on with her show. And how she was recently spotted being trotted around in a wheelchair in New York City. I guess she's been doing some shopping. She been on her Samantha Jones, well, I should mostly say Carrie Bradshaw on, and she was looking, fashionably fabulous while being trotted in a wheelchair. And I'm going to give my thoughts on what's going on with her show and whether or not she coming back. Do we need her to come back? Have we moved on from the Wendy Williams show? Are we over it? Well, apparently not, because the ratings have jumped 35%. But let's get back to this whole T.S. Madison thing, because there was some stuff that I forgot to bring up. And then after I went and was done with the live, which the previous video was 45 minutes, definitely check that video out as well, because it was juicy. We covered a lot of stuff. But with this video, on the Breakfast Club interview, she talked about her fallout with Kaya. She talked about the whole drama and everything where she was talking about with Sydney Starr and outing straight men who date trans women and sex and a whole bunch of other stuff. But there was something I forgot to mention in regards to the whole situation regarding Boosie. When I was talking about it, because there was so many things and I didn't want that video to just be a full hour of me breaking down everything that went on with T.S. Madison interview. So I was like, let me just add it in another video so that way y'all can get more of the context. So in the interview, Maddie mentioned that there's transphobia and homophobia that's really rampant out there. Rampant. And it's rampant out there because people's spaces are being felt like it's being threatened. Now, she was referring to rapper Boosie, or as I call him, Boosie Boy Ass, who has continued to spew homophobic attacks against Lil Nas X as, one of her examples. Calling Boosie a hypocrite, Madison questioned how the rapper had moral ground to label Lil Nas X a detriment to kids in society after claiming he had a woman perform oral sex on his underage son and nephews. And she was like, whose kids really need to be protected? To give context, I want y'all to see that clip again of what I played in the previous video. So I want y'all to see, I'm going to show y'all again of Maddie on The Breakfast Club this past week. Roll the clip.
Black folks, you need to understand that it is your duty to support your black queer people. It is your duty, because we're black and queer at the same time. We're not black then queer. We're black and queer at the exact same time. So when we're fighting racism with you, I don't need you behind my back punching me in my back, fighting me because, well, that ain't our fight. So no, it is your fight. We're marginalized groups of people.
I agree with that. I think the problem.
Yeah, and Charlamagne basically was stating that that nobody in the world has the right to tell someone that they're a detriment to kids when, you know, there's a lot of things going on with that. Like, nobody's perfect and all this other stuff. So you can't sit up in here and say that you're a detriment to kids and this and the other when all of our hands ain't clean in a lot of situations either. And especially when you've pretty much traumatized a child by passing them off on a grown woman to perform fellatio on a kid, thinking that, oh, well, if I have some grown woman suck on this 12-year-old's dick, he's not going to turn out to be homosexual. When that is not how that works. What you've done is molest your children and your nephew and put them in a way where you've traumatized them. Because when you're a kid, you're trying to figure out who you are and how to navigate yourself through the world of how to become from a kid to a teenager and dealing with those hormones and those feelings and this and the other, and then develop into a man. And you are not showing a great example of that when you go and pass your child off and putting them in a situation where they're being sexualized by an adult. Now, if the other tables was turned and it was a grown man doing this to a woman, y'all would want to have that man's head on a pike. So the double standard with that, where we applaud young boys for getting their virginity taken by a woman, is okay, but then you call a girl all kinds of whores and sluts if she sleeps with or she's been traumatized or she ends up being a statistic in an episode of SVU, then that's perfectly not okay. So we need to stop trying to make it look like boys are, you know, this amazing thing because they're having sex with women. It's like, no, they're being abused, they've been molested, and you put them in a situation where you traumatize that child. But of course, like clockwork, Boosie boy ass had a whole lot to say about that T.S. Madison interview. I wonder if he actually watched it, but we know he doesn't have the intellectual range to understand the entire conversation, what they were talking about on that episode. So he said, they still got my name in their mouth about that gay-ish. LOL. At Cedar God, you part of the problem. Keep egging these people on your show with this, bro. You using your platform to support Nas X and his antics. I see what side you on, and had a rainbow emoji. He said, F y'all kids, SMH dummy. No, he said, now, the whole fuck your kids thing was something completely different when he was asked about him having to be a role model for a bunch of kids in the community. So, and yes, he's young and he's like 22, 23 years old, and he's still trying to figure himself out and navigate himself in this world as a young man, as an adult, that sort of thing. So, yeah, he's going to say that rebellion should have fucked your kids and this, that, the other, but there was a reason why he said that. But we know that a lot of you people love to pick and choose and cherry pick what y'all hear and what you want to put in and use that to fulfill or push a certain agenda or narrative. Now, y'all the ones that really got these goddamn agendas out here. Y'all sit there and talk about gay people got agendas when all the LGBTQ community wants to do is be all we're asking for is equality. We're just asking for an opportunity to be in the room. See, the problem was, and this is what I loved about what Maddie brought up also, is that she said that, if you were okay with us when we were behind the scenes helping y'all look good with the fashions and doing your hair and shaving your face and doing your makeup and picking your clothes out for you and being in the background. But now that we've actually acquired space to be on an equal playing ground and be in the same room with a lot of you cisgendered males and some of you females, now y'all have a problem. Y'all don't like the fact that we're on an equal playing field. So now it's a problem. You want to call us all kinds of F words and sissies and punks or whatever the case is, because now we want an equal piece of the pie. We're not trying to be sitting in the background no more. And I feel like the good thing about someone like a Lil Nas X and the good thing about so many of us in media who are bringing this up and talking about it, and people like Maddie, is that we're not going to sit around and allow people to we're not going to take a line down no more. We're going to have our opinion. We're going to say what we need to say, and we're going to make our voices be heard, and we're going to push for equal agenda. That's the agenda we all for. We for the agenda of equality, not trying to convert your damn kids, not trying to do whatever these little stupid things that y'all like to say that y'all want to accuse us of. Like, we out here recruiting and molesting people. If anybody need to be talking about a molester, or pushing an agenda for abusing children, they need to call ACS on this heifer. Especially with this clip that I'm about to show y'all, which Maddie, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. I wanted y'all to see one of Nas's goons confront Boosie And I think one of the kids that I don't know if it's his son, nephew, whatever, at his school, in the class, come on. Like, oh, why you sound like that? And then number two is like, he's such a punk ass bitch. Like after watching, I'm like, he ain't nothing but a damn punk his damn self. Got nerds about sisters and punks. He the biggest punk I ever seen. But anyway, so it says, since we talking about protecting kids, hashtag little Boosie seems like yours need to be protected from you. And then Maddie went on to say, but will, I mean, with 5 laugh emojis, but will the question be answered? What about the children? And so we clear up the fact that according to hashtag Lil Boosie, he paid a grown stripper perform oral sex on his 12-year-old son and nephew. He needs to be silent on gays' influence on kids. So until that question's answered, we're not listening to this heifer and the stupidity that comes out of his goddamn mouth. But I guess because this is the only way that Miss Boosie gets attention from, because quiet as a cat, when the last time y'all heard a Boosie track that was popping on the Hot 100? When the last time he had a song? Like when you got him and T.I. who had an album that came and went, like The Wind in the Night. Nobody bought that last record. When you got these misogynistic bells whose careers is pretty much flatline or DOA, of course they're going to jump on the bandwagon and try to, say what the most ignorant thing gets the most attention. So I want y'all to see this clip, though, of one of Nas's goons confronting Boosie. Roll that clip.
I know you. You the rapper Lil Boosie be talking about me and my friends and my nieces. My niece, Lil Nas X, that's my niece. And bitch, I'll beat you up. Talk shit now. Talk shit now.
Whatever the fuck you is, you better
bitch,
get the fuck out.
Ballin' punk, bitch. I ain't no steroid punk, bitch. Fuck you, ass ball ass headliner.
Come on.
Your headliner costs $8, bitch. Fuck you, bitch. Fat ass bitch. Whatever. Bitch, you mad to me?
Shout out to the LGBT rats for that video. Those are my peoples over there. But come on. That's what that sounds like, a little child. I mean, I'm not gonna speak ill of nobody's children. But it's funny how you had to get about a couple of feet away from this goon for you to be punk ass bitch and calling them names and stuff. See, Boosie is a pussy, is what I'm gonna say about that old tired heifer. But anyway, moving right along, let's talk about Miss Wendy Williams, because that's how she be like to say her W's. So the Ailing talk show host was seen trotting around New York City in a wheelchair with her good old puffy legs. Recently, she got herself a new penthouse, the deluxe apartment in the sky. She's been trotting around New York City, but she's been everywhere but in that purple chair on her weekly talk show. Now, I know a lot of y'all haven't been living under a rock, but in case you have, past couple of weeks, she's had a lot of celebrities filling in for her, such as Leah Remini, Whitney Cummings, and most recently, Sherry Shepherd, who, in my opinion, did a phenomenal job this past week on her show. And in my opinion, Debra Mercury, I really think y'all need to consider giving Sherry her own show. She is someone who has a gift of gab. She's hilarious. She can do celebrity news and gossip, but she also finds ways of finding the funny in that situation and making things, work. She doesn't have to be malicious or mean-spirited at times like Wendy Williams is. She has her own way and her own take. And look, they already tried it with Nick Cannon, and nobody's watching the Nick Cannon show within good reason. It's terrible. I watched the first couple of episodes of that show, and I'm like, oh God, he does not have what it takes to navigate a daytime talk show. Y'all won't give the gays, us folk, our own shows or whatever on these networks because it's like y'all afraid that we're about to just put y'all out of business, that we're gonna basically take over because we're entertaining people. We are funny. We have our own ways of get the gab that we just come on social media and really know how to give it to you bitches like we need to. In the words of Roll Away, and giving it what it's supposed to give. And Wendy is not giving us what it's supposed to give. I want my money back, bitch. So, so while she's trotting around and claiming all these other things, and I've had my little conspiracy theories about what's going on with her, I think she's kind of trying to, it might be a money situation or something where she's not being respected by the network and she's playing chicken with them. Or, there could be, there's a lot of factors that I've said many a times on my podcast and on here what I think is going on with her. But word on the curb is she don't want no more women sitting in that purple chair and doing the show. So she's got Jerry Springer, Michael Rappaport, and Bill Bellamy going to be filling in. And honestly, I don't think either one of them have the chops to keep me entertained. It's like whenever she's put men in that chair, they have not been interesting. You're putting heterosexual males in them chairs, and I'm sorry, but you cis-het men are not entertaining when it comes to spilling the tea and doing the celebrity news and gossip. Y'all just don't have that thing down on lock. It's very rare when you get straight men who really do the whole gossip thing. I remember back in the day, it was AJ Benza. It was a very, like this Guido type that was out here spilling gossip and spilling the tea and doing what needed to be given in regards of, and shout out to the Sun with this picture and everything else, because that's where I got the photos from. But, you know, y'all don't be giving it like it needs to be given. Like a lot of us, there's a certain way that you have to do the gift, like in regards to the gift of gab and all that other stuff. And I just don't see it for Bill Bellamy. I don't see it for Jerry Springer, old ass up there with Steve Wilkos, because he definitely gonna need a damn co-host. And then you have Bill Bellamy. I don't see it. Like I stated, I said what I said about Nick Cannon. I just tried watching that show. It's just horrible. And Water on the Curb is they trying to give Jennifer Hudson her own talk show. And like I said on my podcast earlier, I'm on the fence about it. Like, I think maybe they'll probably go the variety route. They'll have her, you know, doing, I guess, talking about her kid and doing maybe she'll do some hot topics. But I'm sure there's going to be some singing and some variety show type stuff that they could throw up in there. But it'll be interesting to see how. But they said it's testing well, and Warner Brothers is interested. So I'm curious to see how that's going. But in regards to Wendy Williams, what's happening with the future of daytime? Like, there really isn't anything, in my opinion, that's really popping out in regards of the whole daytime television world. And, you know, I understand like the lymphedema and everything that's going on with her. But look, like I said, if Whoopi Goldberg can show up with her sciatica and do The View, then it should not be difficult for someone like Wendy Williams to get out there. Like, you can bring on the show and be like, here's Wendy, and basically have her, you know, put some wheels on that purple chair and have someone cart her out or whatever. Okay? Like, find creative ways to bring her out on the stage. You know, have a bunch of shirtless, you know, 6 muscle guys, have her on like one of those things like she's Nefertiti, and cart her out in that way and put her in the chair and have her sit up there and do the show. Like, that, in my opinion, I feel like there are so many creative ways that y'all can go about trying to get Wendy Williams to show up at the show. So if you're talking about it's ailing, her mouth works. Her body may be in pain and shit, but give her some weed. And okay, maybe she's got past drug addiction issues, so maybe that's a poor choice. Maybe we need not give her no drugs. But you can put her out on the, you know, find ways to get her in that purple chair, have her do her show, and during the commercial break, you know, move her around in different angles, and have her sit in the chair and have somebody in the audience like they've been doing, have them come up on the stairs, do that whole ask Wendy thing she does. You can find creative ways to get her there. So I'm starting to think, if you can't get in that studio, there's got to be other reasons as to, it's got to be a lot deeper. I was even talking to one of my really good friends who said that it's probably because she, you know, doesn't want to be vaccinated. And she has mentioned that on Dr. Phil, that she says, I don't want to get vaccinated. So this could be that too. That only way you can work in New York, you have to be vaccinated. You have to have the COVID shot. And to me, she probably has, even though she had COVID, as they claimed, she probably is still not vaccinated. And there are people, I believe, what was that? That's that crazy sportscaster broad that had to be schooled by Whoopi. She was on The View, and she was talking about that even though one of her friends had COVID, that they're still not vaccinated. They didn't get vaccinated. So Wendy could be in that same situation, that she was, she had she had COVID, but she still didn't get any of the shots. She didn't get the Madonna. She didn't get the, you know, and the Pfizer. She didn't get, even the Johnson & Johnson. I wouldn't even recommend getting that, but I know somebody got the Johnson & Johnson. But why would you go for the weakest damn, you know, shot? That's a whole nother conversation. But nevertheless, I was sitting there thinking that I was like, maybe she doesn't want to get vaccinated. But it's like, you know what? If you want to look, you have the right to decide what y'all want to do. If you want to get vaccinated, if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's great. However, you have to realize that if you want to keep being employed, unfortunately, they have to follow these protocols. It's not about you. It's literally about you and the people you're surrounding yourself, that you could get someone sick. This is a virus that is contagious. We just heard Jason Momoa is recovering from coming down with COVID. So, and they're all shooting Aquaman 2 over in London. So, Wendy, I don't know what's going on. I heard the ratings have surged. What was it, 30 to 35% since while she's not there, and I think that's due to people being curious in regards of how because we all have a train wreck, so people are probably just tuning in to see what's going on with that. And I don't know. I feel like at this point, while I do kind of miss Wendy, I'm curious. I want to see like what's going on with her, and I would love for her to come back and get back in that purple chair and do what she does well. But if she doesn't come back, I don't think I'd be that upset. Like when you are, and you have to know this, like when you're a person who does any kind of, when you work in media, if you are gone long enough and you don't come back and keep your fans engaged, which is why I'm really trying to work on doing a lot more videos instead of just popping on every now and again. If you don't engage your audience, on a consistent basis, they will find a whole nother person or another personality that will give them what they need to get. Now, you may not get it in the way of what you're used to because we're not monoliths. We all don't, even though we all are in the same cesspool of spilling the tea and celebrity news and gossip, we don't all do it the same way. We all have our, this is why we all have our different distinct personalities. They'll find a similarity or something similar in another person. So, Wendy, if you don't come back, they're going to find you a replacement. That replacement kind of smells like Sherry Shepherd. So, with that, I think that's all I got. Hopefully, I've gotten everything I need to get out. And I won't be like, oh my God, I forgot to mention this. And this is funny because I just did, my girl Lindsay had a show, his Beat Face reunion special, and he asked this question to, just a general question. I answered it. And I was like, do you ever regret like anything you do when you do a show? And I was like, oh no, I don't really do it. It's like whatever happens, happens. It's a live show. But then now I'm thinking about it, it's like, well, yeah. It's like that time when you literally have everything set. You have all your notes, you have this, you have that, and you get so caught up in the moment that you're like, oh my God, then the show's over. Then damn, I forgot to bring that. And this was that moment. I forgot to bring up something to add a little extra to the video that I did, the previous one. So this is the companion video to the previous video that I did. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in and watching yet again. You want more of me, as it says down here, check out tribe.com for exclusive content. I basically write a lot of the latest stuff on there, whether it's music video premieres or movie trailers or even any of the latest celebrity news and gossip. Also, follow all my little thingies down here, my social media handles, my Facebook, my Twitter. Also, if you go on my Instagram, my link tree is there. It literally has a link to all of my stuff where you can go and follow my Facebook, my Instagram. Well, basically my Instagram, you got to go on there. Anyway, my Twitter, all my social media platforms. And also, as I said in the previous video, I'm going to be starting a Patreon soon because I bitch need some coins, a little extra cointations or some cointadas. And I'm down for you to send me some questions and basically I'll answer them or do specific topics that, you want me to answer because I'm a well-rounded bitch when it comes to spreading the latest celebrity news. So once again, thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all. And until next time, ciao, dogs. To my way.
Yeah.